Question number one. Hey, Jim, are links still really important?
Yes, they are still really important. I guess I look at it as the way I look at it is there's four major ranking factors. If I were to group them, the first group would be the backlinks. You certainly need to have trusted sites linking to your site, or it's going to be really hard to rank at all. So, the backlinks to me is kind of one of the four groups that you need, and it's to me it could very well be the most important. I guess that's semi-debatable. The links will get you ranked, but I guess some of the other baskets are going to be the content. The content is certainly really important. Without the right words on the page, you're not going to rank. Without giving a good user experience based on your words, you're not going to rank. So, the words that are on a page are certainly, another big bucket. The technical aspects of a website, how you're interlinking the site, any sort of your technical aspects to the site is certainly going to be another bucket. And then there's the usability bucket, the fourth of my areas for SEO. But the usability bucket is incredibly important too. If you're giving people a bad user experience, you're going to lose the rankings. So I guess the way I look at it is links to me are the most important. Without the links, you're not going to get ranked. But if your content is bad and your usability is bad or your site structure is bad, like, you're going to lose it all. So I think links are what can help get you to where you want to be, but staying there, depends on your content and your usability and the technical aspects. So yeah, links are still really, really important. I know there's a lot of people that would like the link equation to go away, but I don't think it's ever going to go away. I think Google is just going to get better and better at measuring what is a real link versus something that's artificial. And I think that's a big part of their algorithms are, because links are such a big factor. I think Google's doing a lot of work to try and figure out what is real and what is natural, and anything that is not natural or appears to be not real or artificial. Google is usually trying to filter that stuff out so that those links don't count, or if it looks like you're obviously trying to do something against Google's guidelines with links, then you very well could get a penalty for that. So yeah, links are really important, but they also can get you in trouble if you use them the wrong way. So yes, links are really important.
Would you say they're as important as they used to be, or the real bigger question is it just harder to get links that count these days?
I would say it's harder to get links that count. In the old days, Google reps would, say, hey, create a better site. And, they would give a lot of really good suggestions. And we used to snicker in the back and be like, no, it's all about backlinks. And now I think, backlinks is certainly still incredibly important. I think some of the other factors are incredibly important as well, especially usability. In the old days, you could have a junk site, get enough backlinks to it, it would rank and stay there. I think now if you got say you got a bunch of great backlinks because of something and your site ranks, if your usability isn't there, you're going to fall right down, if you're not providing a good user experience. It's certainly, I don't say it's harder to get links. In the old days, getting links was much easier. Find high page rank sites, or find brokers. And there's certainly still brokers out there today, but to me, I think the brokers are probably the most dangerous thing if you're getting links from someone's spreadsheets. So yeah, it's harder to get links, and but that means harder doesn't necessarily mean bad. It just means, the old days of getting exact match anchor text going to your money pages is over, unless you want to lose your site or get your site banned. So it's like, all right, in order to get a link now, it's like you have to create something of really high value, whether it's a tool, a widget, some amazing blog post, some great guide, like, you have to create something amazing now. And I guess that's the first step. So first step, create something amazing. And then the second step could be, now promote that amazing thing. Tell people that amazing thing might go good on their page, or, they might want to mention it. But I guess there's the creating something really great and then promoting that. Yeah, it's harder to get because it's not like the old days where you can just buy something and link it into your money page. It's now, all right, let's think of something that's link worthy that people might link to or that people in this industry would find useful. And then, creating that great thing. Then once you've created that great thing and added it to the site, then now you've got to promote it ideally. You can let it wait and wait till people find your great thing, or you can let people in the industry know, and ideally some of them are going to mention it or link to it, and other people will find it and it will get more popular. And now Google's seeing there's a lot of visits to your site. They're seeing, hey, there's not just visits from search engines. If 90% of your visits are from search engines, I assume Google says, hey, you're really good at SEO, but you're really not popular on the web. Ideally you're getting in traffic signals from several places. Google's like, yeah, you're real, you're natural, and other people are linking to you. So yeah, it's harder than the old days, because now in the old days you just buy something and link it into the money page. Now it's like you need to create something great, and then you need to promote it, and you need to promote it in such a way that you're clean about promoting it. If you're going to contact sites, you're contacting real sites. You're not contacting bloggers that are just doing guest blog posts for everyone and anyone in the world, or artificial sites, or anyone's public blog network, or anything that's artificial. It's writing to real sites and saying, hey, see, you've got great resources on this, not sure if you've seen this great resource. But there can be promoting or trying to have something go viral, try and get it in front of as many eyes as possible. But certainly link building has changed, where now it's like you need to create something great, and then you need to try and get it in front of as many eyeballs as possible. And ideally, some of those people are going to mention it and link to it and send traffic to it. And all that stuff will make your site more trusted in the eyes of Google.
Awesome. All right. So you said obviously links are still very, very important. And it's harder these days to get links. My next question is it that it's harder to get links these days versus Google maybe not having such deep weight or so much weight on links these days? So for example, back in the old days, you wanted to do anything, to rank for anything, you just get a couple really good links. You could literally rank for anything, no matter how competitive it was back in the early days when we first started this SEO game. But these days, it's not just, it seems like Google doesn't assign as much weight to links as they used to. Or is it that it's just harder to get those links that Google cares about?
Well, I think because link building has changed so much. In the old days, it was, I want this specific anchor text going to this specific money page. And, that works like magic. In fact, we've certainly seen competitors that have had, or clients that have said, hey, look at what our competitors are doing. We go in and it's like, yeah, well, you still shouldn't do that because they're going to get whacked one day. So I think it still certainly works. I've seen evidence of it as recently as a couple days ago when a client pointed out a competitor, and it's like, oh yeah, well, they're obviously buying. Look at all this stuff, but yeah, they're succeeding today, but will they be tomorrow? And how's that going to affect their business? And I just don't recommend that stuff anymore. But is it, I guess so. The old days, things were much quicker. You get that money anchor text going to that money page, and within days, boom, here goes your rankings. And nowadays, if you're creating great resources for your site to get people to link to, it's a whole different type of quote unquote link building, because you're now, instead of getting links to your money page, you're now getting links to a resource page on your site. Certainly from that resource page, you should, send some links to your money pages that you do want to push that power to. But it's not, I guess it's creating great resources and getting links to that, and then funneling that power throughout the website. So it's a much slower process. It's much safer. In the old days, we could just do things and, Google would dance, and here we are at number one, and life is good. Now it's, the long, slow, steady trip, because, the types of links that you can do to have it go a lot faster now will certainly get you penalized, and it's not something we're going to do. So it's, you take the long, slow, steady trip. You're not going to get to number one for your great phrase with this. Well, maybe you will over time, but you're going to have to prove in a sense to the world that you have the best website. I remember Mike Green used to give us talks, and he would always be like, why should you be number one? And I talked to so many clients like, my site is so great, like I'm so much better than all the competitors. And it's like, well, I go into, I'll do a competitor analysis and go into the competitors, and it's like, no, you're just a search engine database of products. Like, look at what your competitors are doing. They got tools, they got widgets, they got countdown clocks, they got resources about this, they got resources about that. Like, look at how their pages are broken up as well into different sections. Like, you're just listing products. Like, no, there's so many people that think their site is so great, and it's like they don't look at their competitors. They seriously don't look around at what their competitors are doing and what kind of resources their competitors have. And I guess if you want to be number one, you need to look at all of the resources out there and all the competitors and be like, how can I make my site better than all theirs? What are all the things that I can do? What are things that they're doing that are helping? What are things that they haven't even thought of yet? How can I help my user the best? How can I be the best resource out there in the industry for the thing that I'm targeting? And so many people don't, they just think they've got the best site. I got the best site. My competitors stink. And it's like, no, you don't deserve to be number one because your site is not the best in the industry. Your competitor, Bob, who's, number one or two or three, yeah, they've got a great site. They have a great user experience. Look at what they've done with the site. Look at all these assets they've built. Look at how they're breaking up their pages. Look at all these resources. This is such a better user experience. And even if you have way more links to your site and way more power to your site, if Google sees that, hey, people aren't having a great user experience over here, but at this other site, they're having a much better user experience, the other people are going to move up. I think we're going to see more of that as well with the Core Web Vitals update as well in March. I think more of the usability aspects are going to come into play with that, with some of the things that Google's looking at.